Did you not feel like you threw away a lot of work that went towards it? A lot of time and effort?
No. So I had kind of loads of people that I work with like, you're crazy, like you've worked so hard to get here, and I'm like, but where is here? What is here?
What is here?
And
so what did you find then?
Well,
that was your now. What was your happiness?
I don't think there's I don't know. I don't think there is necessarily like a now, because I think we're constantly learning. I think we're all beginners at everything. I don't think there's ever like an expert level or a, I just think we keep going and we keep growing and we keep learning. But I just learned like follow your heart and do what your gut tells you to do, because my heart kept going, go travelling, and my head's like, no, that's insane, you can't go. And I was like, then my heart's like, go, 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 and it wouldn't stop. So in the end I was like, right, I'm going to do this. It's probably the first time in my life where I'm like, I'm actually going to listen to what my heart's telling me, because I think we end up so trapped in this world that we humans have made, and we think that this is everything, that this is like the be all and the end all, and actually it's really not. And it's just a world built on money basically, and getting more money and power, and money equals power.
So you actually wrote on your blog a little bit about this, how we are grown up to believe certain things through, socialization, and it puts pressure on us to be a certain way, but also you think in a certain way without realising that you're thinking in a certain way. So how did travelling kind of unlock that for you? And what new mindset did you get into? I
don't know if it's travelling. I think it's taking time, because what happens is when we're locked into this life, it's like you need to earn money, so you've got to pay your bills, and you don't have time to actually stop and think. If you're very lucky, if you do have that time to stop and take time and look after yourself and like reflect on things and have time for contemplation and meditation, like we don't have space for that. We don't allow that. So when I went travelling, it's like I don't have a purpose. There is no purpose. I'm not, it started off that I was like, right, I'm going to do this web series, and then this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And then I was like, actually, no, because I'm bringing with me what I wanted to leave behind. So I just need to just free myself and just let go of everything and just trust and take in what I'm seeing. Otherwise, there's a lot of people I know who do, might go and do a travel show or etc. They don't get to see anything. They don't get to see anything.
They're just kind of working.
They're just working. Exactly. And you don't get to enjoy it, and that's not why I went. So it was that just learning. And it's the same with life, you don't have to take everything so seriously. It's about making that time to have time for reflection and for growth, and all of that's really important, and more important than anything else.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we can definitely get caught in this workflow stage of just constant schedule and constant betting yourself to be successful, but then you question what is real success. You're working towards getting that grade maybe in uni, or getting that job, or getting that promotion maybe, and then you come, so for example with me, I've come out of uni, and that's an end of a cycle, and I realised I might have been successful within uni towards grades, but my actual personal life or my mindset has not grown with that. So it's definitely right to take time and write and stuff like that. So what mindset did you come into? So I know that you've come back now and you're trying veganism and you're trying yoga and meditation. So what is your mindset now, would you say?
I've been vegan for 2.5 years, so I was actually vegan before I left to travel, so I did all my travels as a vegan. I don't know if I have a mindset. I don't know, because I think it's
different.
I would just say that I'm way more open to look at and embrace myself, and I think that's kind of really important, to find out who am I, what am I, who am I, why am I here, the answer to all of those questions. I don't think it's to get a job, to make money, to pay bills, to die. To me, that doesn't make sense. What enjoyment am I getting out of this? What fulfillment am I getting out of this? What am I here to do? Where can I be of service? Where can I help? And so, that kind of not being so focused on self, and not being so kind of, it's all about me, and it is about me, but it's also about how I can be of service and help other people and use my experiences to do that. So I think sometimes just talking about things and just saying things and being honest and open is kind of a start, because so many people in this world that we've created don't know how to do that. So.
Yeah, definitely in the Western world as well, our mindsets are very us, you know, and we forget that it's a collective world where what you give out does come back. So you had a
Mastectomy.
You had a mastectomy. How did that kind of let you find more confidence in your body?
What that did is it stopped me, because I had to take a break. I had to take 2 months off work, and it stopped me, and that's where everything started, because I stopped. And that's why I'm saying about taking that time. Like, I didn't have a choice, I had to stop, and that's when the questions came. And whereas before I've been so kind of like just focused and blindly focused. I wasn't particularly happy at all, but I've been so blindly focused on I want to get to this goal that I just completely lost touch with everything else. So that just kind of stopped me. And it, you know what, it's not necessarily confidence, because I think I was saying the same thing before, but it's like realizing that your body is a body, like it's a tool, it's a vehicle, it's a gift. And when you like have an experience like that, it's like, it's just flesh. It's flesh and blood and everything else, and it can be taken away and it can be rebuilt and it can be restructured. But ultimately, all it changes is it changes how you think about yourself. So it's nothing to do with the physical change. So if you just change the thought in the first place, would you need to have the physical change? For me, it was about avoiding, because I carry the BRCA1 gene, but I'm not even sure that I needed to have that operation. And that's where I'm at now. What it did do is change my thoughts. So where I was fearful before that I might, get cancer, as my mum and sister did, having that operation changed, my thinking, so that I feel like I don't have to worry about it anymore. And for me, even though at the time I was quite sure I needed to have the operation, now I'm not so sure I did. I'm still glad that I did, because it changed my thinking. But I think maybe there's other ways to change your thinking rather than have a surgical procedure, perhaps. Yeah. And I think that if you think about something enough, you create it, and that goes for good and that goes for bad as well.
Yeah. So it's like the power of the mind, definitely. So how important is it for people to take time and practice self-love in this day and age?
I think we have to establish what self-love is first. And I think there's this whole kind of movement at the moment, and a lot of people throw the term self-love around, and self-love is like loving myself, and here I am looking really great. And when, for me, self-love really has nothing to do with, appearance. Yeah, self-love, self-care, so taking care of yourself, and of course that includes your appearance, but that's not the sole focus. And so for me, there's like a spiritual element to it, which comes from knowing what the true self is, and understanding that there is a personality and there is a self, and that self needs to love the personality, and the personality needs to love the self back, and that makes a whole. So for me, that's what self-love is. But I think to a lot of people that probably sounds like a really alien concept.
No, yeah, you've written about this on your blog actually,
yeah.
And it's separating yourself from your thoughts and your personality, which make up your thoughts, and being conscious of that you are not, your thoughts, your everyday thoughts, because we can get trapped in negative cycles of thoughts, and it's about finding that positivity. So how do you find that positivity in everyday, day to day?
I think it's difficult. It's not easy, for anybody, because I think the world kind of throws stuff at you all the time that's negative, let alone, maybe what you have going on in your own life. But I think it's about learning. So for me, I know for a fact that with relationships, I repeated the same cycles over and over and over again. And it's only when I was able to see that and say, hold on a second, I don't want to do that anymore, that it changed. And some people go through their whole lives repeating those cycles. So I think it's kind of being able to take responsibility for yourself and saying, in everything that's happened to me, instead of playing a victim and being like, it's your fault, you did this to me, you did that, you have to take ownership, because you played a part in it as well. So that's really important.
And I think a big thing is gratitude as well, showing gratitude for just, being alive, but also everything you have in your life. At Grow Daily, we really work on positive thinking, and always knowing that there is worse, and other than what you're experiencing, and getting into that certain mindset that you've spoken about, which creates positivity and kind of attracts positivity through thoughts and everything.